So let's talk about property sourcing, shall we? Because if house prices are going up and they're selling really fast and you want to be buying property, you're going to have to find a different way of buying that property. And this is not looking on Rightmove, it's not going to estate agents, this is really about going direct to vendor. And so in this particular session, I just want to talk about our property sourcing training, and we'll talk about what we actually cover. So let me just share my screen here. Our property sourcing training is £27, which is just bonkers, quite frankly. You get 90 videos spread over 15 modules, which literally teaches you everything that you need to know from start to finish. It's got a bunch of resources, got some adverts, got some copy that you can use on your adverts. It's got example leaflets. It's got example contracts. It's pretty good, I have to say. And we've sold, like, not just hundreds, we sold thousands of these of this product, absolutely thousands. And if you think about this is the competition that you're up against, then you're up against other thousands of people. Now, one of the good bits for you, if you're thinking, oh, I want to get into property sourcing, but I think it's too diluted, too many people doing it, we know that when people sign up, they get partway through the course, or they get halfway through, or get to the end, and then they stop. Because actually getting the results can be quite hard, and they give up after they failed the first time, or the second time, or the third time. And I can tell you from experience, folks, that you've got to keep on going, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Failure leads to success. You've got to keep on going. But getting it wrong and understanding why you got it wrong, so then you can adapt and change it, so you start getting it right, that's where your success will actually start to come from. So let's go through what's included in the property sourcing. And I've made it bigger, but I'll make it bigger again in a second, just so that you can see it. I'm just going to grab another quick drink. So, module 1. We talk about what property sourcing actually is. Some people still don't know, and that's all right. Why should we? But we go into exactly what it is. And then module 2, we're going to talk to you about the type of deals that you can actually do. Let me make this bigger. If I make it too big, oh no, that's fine, I can just scroll up, can't I? There we go. So we talk about the types of property deals that you can do. There's all sorts of different types of deals that you can do. And this is one of the things that when you generate a lead, and we'll talk about that in a minute, when you generate a lead and you're on the phone and Mrs. Smith is talking to you, you don't know what sort of deal that's going to be. So is it a lease option? Is it a rent-to-rent? Is it a below-market value sale? Is it an assisted sale? These are the type of deals that you can do. But you don't know what that deal is going to be until that person picks up the phone. So we get some people and we go, oh, I just want to do assisted sales. And it's like, okay, but the marketing won't just generate assisted sales. Your marketing will generate phone calls, all sorts of different phone calls. And your job is to qualify that phone call so that you understand the type of deal that you're going to do. And then number 3, we're going to talk about finding deals, and we're going to talk about property sellers, and we're going to talk about being everywhere at all times. And this is about being multi-present across the whole social media platform. Plus, in your marketing, you have to be on across multiple platforms, from not just leaflets and newspapers and banner ads and so on, but you've got to be everywhere at all times. When I had my lettings agency, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, I was speaking to a landlord, and in the end he said, look, I had to use you guys because you were just everywhere. And just as he said that, one of our little orange cars drove past that was all stickered up. I went, oh, look, there's one of our cars. And he's like, look, you see, you're everywhere. And the more places you are, the more omnipresence that you have, the easier it will get. And also the more credible you will be, because they keep seeing you time and time and time again. I'm sure those people who've seen my stuff, unless it's recommendation, but people who've seen my stuff for a number of years, they know what they're getting, and they know the honesty and the credibility that comes with that, because they've seen me so often, because they've seen me everywhere at all times. Module 4, we're going to talk about finding buyers, how to find them, what marketing you can use, and so on. And then number 5, module 5, is really important. So we've got not just negotiating, like how do you negotiate these deals, but we've also got about working the numbers. Like, what should the numbers be in order for you to get a deal across the line? And then knowing what those numbers are will put you in a good position to negotiate, because now you're going to know exactly how much money to offer on this particular deal. And you can demonstrate what the offer is going to be and why it has to be that offer, and why the price that they were asking for is overvalued. Even in an upmarket, it's overvalued. And so you need to understand all of that. So we cover the different types of negotiating that you can do, and we talk about working the numbers. And then number 6 is, once you've got a deal, In Module 6, we're going to talk about presenting the offer and how you're going to package up this deal. And I've seen some package deals, and it's like a one sheet of paper, and it's not got even the right information. It doesn't have yield on it. It's not got return on investment. It's got hardly any information on at all. And it's just like, buy this house, it's 50 grand or whatever, 150 grand. It's ridiculous. And so presenting the deal is really, really important to your potential investors. Module 7, we talk about getting a deal across the line. You'll be amazed how many of these deals actually fall through unless you do some of these things which will enable you to get the deals across the line. Something as basic as communicating with all parties, both sides of the solicitors, any estate agents, if they happen to be involved. We don't like estate agents, so we try not to use them. Within the realms of property sourcing, I mean. But just communicating with everybody. The vendor, for example, we've seen people trying to get deals through. I'm like, when did you speak to the vendor, the person selling a house last? Oh, 2 months ago. What? And it's fallen through? Yeah. What? And you're wondering why? Yeah. Maybe you should have spoken to him, like, every week. Really important stuff. Module 8 is about mindset. One of the things that used to bug me, by the way, we'd go on weekend courses and they'd say, okay, this is the mindset section. And then 22 minutes later, they're finished on mindset. Mindset is not a 22-minute conversation, folks. It has to be said. Mindset is actually 90% of everything that you do. Because if this isn't right, this won't be right. You won't be able to do the work. And when you get hit with your first failures, you just give up. The module on mindset is probably one of the most powerful modules. Even though it's a property sourcing training and all the information is about property sourcing, the module 8 on mindset is so, so important. Number 9 is about marketing and content creation strategies. If you can't market what you do, like I say this to people, I say, do people know what you do? And they go, no, I'm going to keep it quiet. And I'm like, why are you keeping it quiet? The whole point of doing this is to create a fuss and energy around you so everybody knows about you. So when your friends go to a dinner party and somebody else is saying, oh, I got bailiffs knocking on my door yesterday, I have to sell. Like, oh, I've got a guy that can help. He'll pay me 500 quid and he'll buy your house. Like, everybody should know about what you do. So the marketing, the content creation strategy is really important. The other thing that I love, by the way, if you know how I run my businesses, I really don't work a lot of hours. People were talking about 12 hours, and I'm like, 12 hours a day? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm lucky if I get 12 hours a week. I don't want to work all day every day. That's the last thing that I do. The only things that I really do these days are these lives. I do these lives, and I do the strategy sessions for when we get somebody wanting to sign up for our digital marketing. That's pretty much it, other than a couple of team meetings. I really don't work a lot of hours. And the reason I don't work a lot of hours is we outsource everything. I mean, when I say we outsource, we have internal team members, so they're employed. So it's not all going to an external agency. We have to recruit people. But it's not me physically doing the work. I have other people doing the work that are employed by my company. Outsourcing is huge. Now, you have to still do everything yourself to begin with, but then when you get used to it, then you can start to outsource. And we cover how to outsource, where to outsource. And then module 11, we look at what systems you need and what systems you can implement to make this run smoother. And like at first, you won't have a clue, and it will all be all over the place. And then as you start getting more experience, then you can start putting the systems in place, and the systems will help you, have a bit more information about what are the systems that you need to have in place and how do you put them in place. Like, nobody ever teaches this in school or university or at college. Where do you learn this information? Well, you learn it here. Module 12, what to do if you haven't got results yet. This is, again, I mean, I keep saying each module is important. It's been a while since I've looked at these, and I'm like, this is so important. Because I guarantee most people won't get results straight off the bat. It's just not how it works. If only. Well, I was learning to run the 100 meters, and then lo and behold, I'm in the Olympics. It was amazing. So that was nice. Do you remember the fast show? And then we won the lottery again the second time, and that was nice. The first time you do anything, it's not going to work. And this is exactly the same. This all comes down to hard work and putting in the results, the work in order to get those results. But we give you some tips on what to do if you haven't got the results yet. We also give you some access to some amazing resources that will help you on your way. Module 14, these are kind of like more bonus modules, really. But handling your finances on on wealth creation. If you don't get this right, if you can't manage £1,000 a month, why do you think you're able to manage £10,000 a month or £100,000 a month? Because most people, their expenses creep up and they either spend slightly more than they're just earning or slightly less than they're just earning. And actually what should happen is their expenses should stay still and their income goes up. It might go up slightly in proportion, but that's it. And this is down to bad money management and bad budgeting and so on. So we stick module 14 in there. There's no point in teaching people how to make a lot of money if they can't handle the money they already make. And so that's why that's in there. And then the last section here is goal setting and time management. Every module is better than the last module. This module, I could sell this on its own for 27 quid and we'd get great testimonials from it. It's so good. When you get really, really busy and you implement this time management system, it's going to change your world. We had a guy working 60-hour weeks and he was so busy. He came out to the villa and we ran through what he was doing. And he was all over the bloody place, putting fires out all over his place. His mind was all over the place. And so we got him onto this system. And then a month later, he just booked himself like a 6-week holiday in Vietnam, I think it was. And he dropped his 60 hours down to 20 hours because that was how powerful the time management system was in combination with things like outsourcing and putting systems in place and all of that kind of thing. And then there's some goal setting in there as well. I'm not going to read through the testimonials, the reviews. We've actually got loads. And we've got 6 there. And then I think further up, or is it further down? We've got another one there. We've got loads. Some of these were off Facebook. Some example deals that people have done. So we've actually got a lot more testimonials. One thing that I'm really bad at is sending the testimonials over to my team to create the images for the testimonials to put on the page, and that's something I really need to get done. But we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. And that's the property sourcing training. It's £27. It's on the website. You should go take a look at that.